It is cake story time. Am I the astronaut for refusing to let my coworker cut the breakroom cake because they didn't contribute? So I, 27 male, work in a medium-sized office that has this long-standing Friday treat tradition. Basically, a few of us rotate who brings something in. Donuts, bagels, cookies, whatever. Not a formal rule, but it's kind of understood that if you regularly eat the Friday treats, you should also occasionally contribute. Last week was my turn. Instead of grabbing a cheap box of cookies from the grocery store, I decided to be nice and splurge on this gorgeous cake from a local bakery. I paid extra for the fancy cream cheese frosting and even had them write "Happy Friday, team" on it in little swirls. It wasn't cheap, but I thought it would be a nice surprise for everyone since we just had a rough deadline week. I set it up in the break room with some plates and napkins and figured we'd cut into it after lunch like we usually do. Around 10:30 though, a.m. assumed, my coworker Carl, 34 male, fake name, waltzed into the break room with a plate in one hand and a giant knife in the other like he was about to perform a wedding cake cutting ceremony. Here's the thing about Carl. He never contributes. Like ever. In the year that I've been at this job, he's not once brought anything in for Friday treats. Not donuts, not chips, not even a store brand soda. He always has an excuse. Forgot my wallet, didn't have time, next week, I promise. And yet he is consistently the first person in line to grab the biggest portion of whatever food shows up. Everyone kind of jokes that he's the office raccoon because of it. So, when I saw him about to slice himself what was clearly going to be a massive corner piece before literally anyone else had even touched the cake, I stepped in and said, "Hey, can we wait until after lunch so everybody gets a fair shot, especially since you did not pitch in?" Ooh. Carl froze mid-slice, like I had just insulted his ancestors. Then he goes, "Wow, are you seriously gatekeeping cake? Yes. This is for the office, not your personal stash." I said, "Sure, but maybe let people actually see the cake before you swipe half the frosting." He stormed out and went around telling people that I was being stingy with the communal cake. By the time lunch rolled around, there were two camps forming. One group quietly told me that they were glad somebody finally said something to him, and the other group acted like I was some kind of dessert dictator for daring to control access to cake. To make things more awkward, Carl sulked the rest of the day and kept making sarcastic comments like, "Careful, don't touch Carrie's special cake." And then he sent me an email saying that it was toxic to shame coworkers over food and that I had ruined the Friday treat vibe. Now I'm stuck feeling conflicted. On one hand, yeah, once I put the cake in the break room, it technically was for everyone. On the other hand, it feels insane that the guy who has never once contributed thinks he should be the first to hack into a cake I spent my own money and time to get. So, am I the astronaut for stopping my coworker from cutting into the break room cake? Thoughts here?
I want to join the team that is happy that she finally said something to Carl.
Carl!
But every place that I've worked at has had someone that
has had a Carl.
Had a Carl. Except here, we always bring stuff, but yeah, Tony's the Carl. No, Tony treats this all the time. Like in TA, there's no other feedback necessary.
Jamie, it is not required
Save the cake.
to contribute, but so it's an elective thing. But OP did say early on in the story, me and a few others. So yeah, it's weird that two camps formed. I'm wondering how the split relates to those who do contribute, to those who don't contribute. That's Carl's camp. Yeah, but here's the deal, Carl. Like, you can call it a communal thing. You can say somebody's being stingy, but she brought the fucking cake.
Right.
Yeah, I can just as easily move it back out of the break room because I brought it.
I would, in the future, not put it in the break room until lunch. I would just leave it at your desk.
Yeah.
And then it is your cake until lunch.
Now you know. Now that's a smart vibe.
Yeah. Carl has no access to cake. But Carl also walking around sulking and making stupid comments off to the side seems very Carl-like. So
yeah, that was totally a Carl thing to do.
I think it tells us all we need to know.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're in TA here. And if anything, maybe it's some time to institute some formal structure here, right?
Do you know who Carl is? He's Ross at the building party for the retirement thing. And he cuts the cake and he's got it on his upper lip.
Oh my gosh, it was the retirement cake, right? Yeah. For the building maintenance guy.
The cake. And he was unwilling to contribute. You saw what happened to Ross.
Yes.
So don't be a Ross.
But
don't be a Carl.